everybody, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. I was asked to do a sort of a little show and tell of my Travelers Notebooks and Folios. So that's what I've done today. I gathered them all from all over my house, mostly, a couple rooms I guess I have them situated at for whatever they're being used for. And it's kind of embarrassing. I mean, to be honest with you, I never intended on having a collection of these things, but what would happen is I'd see one that I really liked and thought, well, I could use that for this purpose, and then I'd be like, okay, that's it, no more, and then the same thing would happen again. So I haven't counted them, but it looks like there's around 10 or so, and I know that's small, a small collection maybe for some of you. For me, they are mostly all being used, so I don't feel like it's a bad thing, but it's just kind of funny, I guess, because I really didn't intend for this to happen. But anyway, let's start with the smallest ones and work our way up. I'll just tell you what I use it for, where I got it, and maybe if there's anything I can tell you about the leather. So here we go. This one was not a first one. This is one that I saw on Amazon. So the leather is, probably not the greatest quality, but I really don't think it's bad. This is really a strange feel on the cover. It almost feels kind of dusty. It reminds me a little bit of the original Traveler's Notebook, and it has this like velvety feel. Anyway, I don't want to get too bogged down. I primarily bought this, I always have to think on this size, passport size, because I wanted to try it out. I was kind of new in the Traveler's Notebook world, and I just wanted to see which sizes of the notebooks I liked the best. And I bought this because it was only $15-ish, and it came with some inserts. So I thought, that's not bad. This is really kind of a fun little size, but I just found that I didn't need this in my regular planner. My idea was to have this in my purse, have another one on my desk in the kitchen, and I didn't end up liking going back and forth and writing things in both. So I haven't really used this. I'm thinking about kind of reviving it or seeing if I can put my new little pocket-sized Bible in my purse in this to keep it safe. But so that's that. That's the only passport size one I have. I get the pocket and the passport mixed up. The next is my pocket size Chic Sparrow. This is in Pelican. I bought this on one of those deals where you request your size, but you don't know what leather you're getting. And it seemed like a pretty good deal. It was a good discount, but you still had to pay shipping, so it didn't end up being, in my way of looking at, a great deal. But again, I wanted to try the pocket/field notes size, and I just have not liked this leather a whole lot. But I have also said in previous videos it's growing on me, and as it gets softened and I kind of manipulate it a little bit to give it some flexibility, I like it better. And I could see actually liking it a lot more, but it's such a stiff, thick leather, I'm not as drawn to that maybe as some of my other ones. So I'm still kind of trying to figure out what to do with this. I think it will probably handle the overflow of this, which is a Pocket Plus from Chic Sparrow. I got recently, after Mystery Arts and Crafts said that her chamomile cover had patinaed into a nice gold. And there was something about that really clicked with me. I like that patina idea. I like when they get some personality and nicks and scratches in them. Although at first you're always like, oh, you don't want it wrecked. But then it just develops its own character, and it's so neat. So this is the Pocket Plus Chic Sparrow Chamomile Tea. I like it much better with this golden hue. In fact, I have these little decorative leaves on my area here, and I just thought that could look kind of cool just in there for the season. Kind of looks pretty. So I might just do that. Anyway, this is super chunky, and I saw pictures on Facebook, Instagram with people with a Pocket Plus. But man, they must really have it full because I still feel like there's too much, what do you call this, overlap. That doesn't settle well with me. But anyway, this is used to journal to my grandkids. I imagine in time there'll be more than there are now, and one is on the way. So maybe when this gets full, maybe I'll add some to this. So we'll see. I have been willing to sell this, but nobody's taking me up on that. So there it sits. Sorry that it's unloved, but it really is kind of the sad one of the bunch. Okay, so anyway, there's my Pocket Plus. Very nice, very pretty leather, and I like how it gets these little nicks. I put it in the sun, and actually it did get a suntan. It goldened up, if that's a word, in the sun. Next, I will do my other, I guess I would call it for my collection, oddball sizes, because I only have 2. But I love these. These are both Sojourner folios. Or are they? No, this is a folio. This is not. But they're both B6 Slim. So this is the first one I got. And I bought this when I didn't think I was going to get the Chic Sparrow Cherry Sky. And I was kind of mad because they offer this big tease. And then they're like, no, sorry, we're out. And I'm like, oh, man. That kind of bugged me. And then, so in the meantime, I found this, and this was a little more red. It's turning into a deeper reddish brown, which is really nice. But this is the Roadrunner with this natural leather pocket. And I forget the rest, but it's the rough cut pocket, and it has the red stitching. When I couldn't get the one, and I was kind of just looking at some YouTube videos, I saw this and I fell in love with it. At first, I did not like this light color cover, a pocket on the cover. I just thought, ugh, who would want that? It really did not click with me at all. But then I saw it here and there, and I'm like, ooh, I do like how that looks. So I think my husband bought this for me as a birthday present like a year ago, and I have loved using this. It's my planner. And what I have in here is a insert where I primarily do menu planning and shopping lists. So I can just grab this when it's time to go to the store. This insert is my, it's from Yellow Paper House, I think, yeah. And this is just kind of, well, sorry, I have 2 together here. I'm just trying to show you a plain page. There we go. I kind of use it like you might use a Hobonichi Weeks, which I did have in here for a while, but it was a little bit narrower, and it was a hardcover. It was the Amazon off-brand of Hobonichi Weeks, which was fine with me, but I guess I felt like I wanted to fill out the edge here. I didn't want to have that narrower book coming down of my fake Hobonichi, for lack of a better word. So I liked that style, though. So I bought this from Yellow Paper House. I bought the monthly setup and then the weekly setup. And this works super well with me. I just use one of these clips. You could use any kind of clip. And I just switch back and forth for, okay, here's the week I'm on. What's going on? How does it fit into the month as a whole? At the beginning of the week, or every so often, I'll glance at the month and say, oh, yeah, don't forget so-and-so's birthday. Which I have done anyway, but that's kind of month at a glance, breaking it down into my weeks. And I like that. So this is in the B6 Slim size. They offer just like every size imaginable as far as I can tell on Yellow Paper House, which is an Etsy shop. And then back here, I just had this left over from my Hobonichi Week. So I have a homemade Travelers Notebook with tea-dyed paper that I just use kind of for general note-taking. It started out being a place where I was writing down stuff about fountain pen inks as I was watching Goulet Pens tutorials. And as often happens, and I forget that I have that, and I quit using it in that way. But then right now I have a tab here for pen pals. And so people that I've exchanged some little packages with, I kind of write that down there so I don't forget what they've sent, or maybe what I want to send them, or a question that I might have for them if they have more knowledge in an area with regards to Travelers Notebooks or pens than I do. So This I love. I love the feel of this leather. It's got a little bit of a pull-up quality to it. It's bendable. Smells just like leather should smell in my book. It feels smooth, but not fuzzy like some of those Travelers notebooks have. There's none of that aspect. I oftentimes will have a little decorative something in this pocket just for fun, but primarily I don't at the moment. I kind of switching things out for the fall. I just kind of have it open like this on my desk area where I do most of my planning, and we call it mission control or the office, even though it's really a countertop in my kitchen. And then this folio is a Elon with a special pocket. Again, it has the red stitching. This is a Nanami Cafe Notes. In here, it's a Tomoe River paper, and this is where I journal to my kids. So one is getting ready to get married. I've talked about that. Others have done thoughtful things, and I've mentioned that, or so on and so forth. And then in the front cover, I have a B6 Slim basic Traveler's Notebook insert that I am writing special things to my husband. So this smells amazing, and I saw this and I was like, I don't care if I don't have a purpose. I had to have this, which sounds, I mean, yeah, I had to have it. I don't have to have anything really, but it really just appealed to me. I love this kind of green. I loved it with the brown. I have this little sticker from an Etsy shop, which I think looks really pretty in there. I like the globe. This is from the wheat field, I think. Anyway, love that. Use this often. It sits in my craft cart. Okay, now let's talk again like the Traveler's Notebook that I don't use. This is a Leather Planners Plus that I found on Instagram and Etsy. At the time, I was wanting a really big book, which I recently have mentioned. This has morphed into a place where I keep passwords, addresses, our donations, our giving records, and personal information like social security numbers of the kids, birth dates, things like that handy, and some miscellaneous directions to locations we go to. This has a nice feel to it. It's kind of gone patinaed to a golden color, or golden green. I'm not sure, even a tan. It was once like a chartreuse green, so not nearly as deep as this, but a really rich bright green, and I liked it a lot. And it's just funny how it changes, but I have gotten to where I don't like this reinforced spine, and I don't like it this big, and so what I once loved is now not what I like so much. I've just changed my preferences on how they feel. I did add this little stain just for fun. I thought, why not? You know, it's not really being used. It's not my favorite anymore. Although I would say the workmanship and quality on that is amazing, but this is real floppy, and it's just not my preference anymore. And then here's another little bit of a different one. This is a vinyl cover that I got online, scrapbook.com. I want to say it was on sale, and this one, I really like this print and the fun colors. But I bought this for the purpose of storing ephemera bits and pieces. I have some pouches that I use, which will be another video. I'm going to show you how you can use your zipper pouches. If you have some extras and you kind of want to have a purpose for them, maybe they're sitting around and you're not sure what to do with them, but you like them. I think I've kind of come up with a system that works well. But this I really like. It's super handy, very relatively inexpensive, you know, for all you're getting. I bought some extra of these pages from Amazon, and I just use it to sort ephemera. So when I'm decorating a journal page or a Bible page or something that I want to add embellishment to, I will typically grab this. I also have another zipper pouch with larger pieces in it. And let's see, let's go to these you have recently seen. This is now my ink swatch book. This is the Chic Sparrow Cherry Sky. It's patina-ing to a richer, darker, reddish brown, not as bright. It's got a lot of little nicks and stuff in it. It's kind of a thinner leather, and I think without the pocket reinforcement, it would be similar to that one I just showed you with the floppy leather. This is the Waypoint leather, and it also still has a really nice smell. I love this kind of pocket on there, or pocket, pen holder. I like that it doesn't have pockets on the front, although I love the pocket on the front, and that's probably my preferred place to have a pocket. But because this has this and this anymore, it would not be good. And since it's kind of become a ink swatch or any kind of color swatching I want to do, this works better this way for me. I have a little tab in there of inked what's in my pens right now, so I don't get confused on similar colors. And then to try, so I'm trying to put a little list there. If I see an ink I really want to try, or a pen I may want to splurge on down the road, or even just buy. I feel like I have enough now, but it's a fun collection, so I may or may not get more of those, but I probably will, just because I know me a little bit by now. All right, other bulky Traveler's Notebook. By the way, these last several are all the standard Traveler's Notebook size, so I started with these. So anything after this that you've seen me show is all the standard Traveler's Notebook. Standard or narrow it can be called, but it will have a difference depending on the make of the width of the spine. This is a pretty big one too. Speckled Fawns, Rustic Kodiak. After I got this big green one that's now tan, I saw this and thought, I really love this rustic look. It is me all over. I mean, rustic, not fancy. That's my whole lifestyle. I just don't do fancy. I'm much more at home with casual and this kind of worn look, like it's been around. It's got a story to tell. It couldn't be better. I think this pen loop is a little bit large, but it really has ended up not being a bad thing, because sometimes I've had two pens in there. Right now, I thought that my Lamy Safari and this Mango would look kind of nice for fall. The ink in it is tourmaline, which is a turquoise, so it's maybe not the best fall combo, and I may switch that out soon, but I kind of liked how it looked. Typically, I would just have a gel pen or even a regular ballpoint pen that I like. The profile ones are my favorite, just regular ink pen. But I love this. I love how it looks. It's just a bulky book, and it wouldn't be something I would just want to plop in my purse, because it already hurts my shoulder when I have too much weight in my purse. So this sits in my cart. Generally, I use this as a Bible study, prayer request, reflection, that sort of thing, journal. And I put this little bow in here after the video the other day, because I thought it kind of went well with this, and it's just fun to have that decorated for fall. It just sits around here. I take it to church typically on Sunday, but other than that, it doesn't leave the house. It is a lot of bulk. And then these two are my last to show you. I got this a while ago. This is a Start Bay. This is from, I think they said East Devon in England. And I love all things English. England, or I think I do. I was there and I loved it several years ago visiting a friend. And anyway, I don't need to go on and on about England, but when I heard from Helen Colebrook, who's on YouTube also, that she got hers from this Start Bay notebooks, it just really appealed to me. It's very, very basic design. It feels very smooth, although it has some visual texture. You can start to see and feel these, what do they call those? Like fat roll wrinkles or something. There's this neat line here. All these things are becoming more apparent the more it's used. And for a long time, this was just my daily journal, what happened today, and reflections kind of journal. I did somehow manage to get a couple little grease spots on it, which I don't really like, but it's kind of part of it being used. And in my book, don't have it if you're not going to use it. The purpose of these books is that they are used. And for me, this and that on there is part of the story. I I love this. This is, on the inside, feels very smooth. I don't know what they do, but I would say it feels polished. This is now my book club record book. I have like a kind of a bi-monthly club I go to. I also have some things. I kind of used it as a planner for our little, what we call Camp Grandtastic with a couple of my grandkids. And then in the back I had like home and health basic records. And I don't use either of these too much really anymore, so they're being stored in there. I like this a lot. I had no complaints about it. Like every time I pick it up, I sniff it. It has this typical size outer elastic, and I did want to point out though that the inside elastic is very much thinner than what I typically see. And I was like, gosh, is that going to hold? But it's done really fine. So startbay.com if you're interested in that. I do love it. The only reason it got kind of pushed out by this Travelers notebook was I kind of had a change of heart of the Travelers. When I first embarked on this journey, when I bought this one, I wanted something that would hold everything all together. So I got that. My actual original one was one that I homemade, and I don't have it anymore. And I wish I would have kept it just for the fun of showing my homemade Traveler's Notebook, or Midori as they were called. Anyway, wasn't drawn to this. I didn't like this thing. And I just thought, I don't know, they didn't appeal to me. But then I started seeing others using them. Again, power of suggestion is not always the best thing. If you're trying not to buy stuff, just don't watch the videos. But I thought, well, you know, in my mind, rearranging all my things so I could add one more to the family. Plus, when I made my original one out of a vinyl placemat, cut down and sewn and painted, I put the elastic in the back like this original style. I had no problem with it, except it did start to pull through on the vinyl, and I had to reinforce it with like this metal button thing. But that worked fine. That was not a big deal. But then when I went to start to purchase my own Travelers Notebooks, I liked the closure elastic in the spine better. And the original Travelers Notebook, made in Thailand, but I guess the company started in Japan. What was I saying? I guess this didn't bother me anymore, and I liked the look, and all of a sudden I thought, I just really want to try the original. Like, they're the ones that started it all. It does have that kind of like fuzzy, for lack of a better word. It's like, this is a slick surface, and you might call this sort of a bumpy surface. This feels almost like fur, but not to that extent. Brushed, maybe. That might be a good way of putting it. And I didn't realize it would have that texture. I don't know if I would have bought it, because I don't like that as much, but I do like this style. I like the simplicity, and I think that's what kind of has started to grow on me now, is just a simpler look. Like, this is super fun, and it suits me perfectly for what I use it for. Let me just show you real quick. In the back, I have my verses that I'm working on memorizing. I have these 2 tags from my authentic Fjallraven bags. I did have that video on the scam one I got, so these have a place of honor in here. And then I put this little laminated teacup, because I just think that adds a little cozy feel. So, you know, that's fun. It's got this. I've shown this before, but here again, if you want to see my family, there they are. And I love this. I love everything about it, but I wouldn't want every single notebook I have to be like that. When I am just journaling or taking something to book club like this one, this is good. This simple, lighter weight design, more minimalistic. I like that. And I do like this a lot. I love the simplicity of it. but it's not going to hold a ton of notebooks like some of them are. I think it's got 2 strands. You should probably be able to tell. Yeah, so it holds this one, which is what? This is where I journal basic happenings. I've got to show you this. These are some of my sons and grandson on a camping trip. Warms my heart to see that picture of them all having fun together. So it's that kind of thing. So this is what the family did. This is what I did. Some of it could be kind of boring, but I think someday people are going to appreciate that I kept record of everyday occurrences, and they may enjoy just looking back at that. That's primarily why I do it. Plus, I have an artistic or creative bent, maybe is a better word, and I like expressing myself on paper with fun pens and scrapbooking and collaging and so forth. So it serves a dual purpose. And the second book then is a cut down minimalism art, which I got from Amazon. Super inexpensive, maybe $8. I wanted a thicker Travelers Notebook standard size insert that I could journal in for a longer time. These are fun though, because then when you finish them, you're like, oh, you feel like you've accomplished something, but they don't hold a whole lot. So for some reason, I thought I wanted to try something with more pages. This has been a lot of fun, and it actually takes the fountain pen ink really well. This feels really smooth. Some of the inks do really well on it, some not as well, but they definitely do better, I think, than this. Well, this paper's okay. I've had some insert paper that's almost scratchy and rough, and the inks don't like that, or the pens. But this has been fun, and I just love to put all kinds of decoration in there. So, and then that is just more embellishing of my thoughts. So whereas the one is like, oh, we went to such and such park today and ate out, it's more of a tidbit of the day. This is more of a reflection, what I'm thinking about, what I'm maybe weighing out in life, decisions I need to make, or remembering somebody and I want to write about them. That would be what I put in there. So there's the collection. Let's see, we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so that's not too bad. It is more really than I wanted. So like this is totally a duplicate of each other, but they do serve different purposes. So I feel like, since they have a home or have a use, it's not altogether bad. And it's kind of fun. So this is a fun collection. I really try to think through any future purchases with leather. I really want to make sure I have a use for it, or that I can find a home for like ones like this that I'm not using. But for now, it sits and waits. Thanks for watching. I hope this was fun. I hope it was helpful. If you're kind of at a point where maybe you're deciding what kind of Traveler's Notebook size you might like to try, I think I have a little bit of almost everything. I'm not into the A5 sizes, the wider ones. My friend Debbie has lots of nice ones of those. I tend to be drawn towards the narrower sizes. Although, side note, this is a Stalogy in, let me see, B6. And I like this. I like this size, but it is a little wide, so I haven't decided. I did buy this to see, do I like that size of paper? So it's an ongoing exploration. Maybe someday I'll narrow it down. But for now, they all have a purpose. This is what I use them for. Hope you like seeing the leathers and the style. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. And just as a reminder, if I didn't say so already, this was day 5 of VLOGTOBER. And I will continue on through the month with hopefully something new every day. Talk to you later.